There are things no human being should ever witness. Ghosts, spirits, whether good or bad, invading your home. But there are also stories of intruders, stalkers, who terrorize victims without them even realizing it. These phenomena stir our curiosity, like the case of a mother who checked her baby's monitor and saw something terrifying, or the story of a strange man who broke into a house and spent about 30 minutes watching a couple sleep before simply leaving. These are the recordings you will watch today. A recording was sent by a user's mother on a social network, and he described it as the strangest footage he had ever seen. The video shows a man, the poster's brother, on the property, tinkering with the family car and removing some things from the trunk. The place is surrounded by nature, with trees on the right side of the vehicle. Up to that point, everything seemed normal, but what happened next made it all very bizarre. Suddenly, among the forest trees, a figure appears. It walks calmly, without any hurry, and soon vanishes into the woods. The scariest part is that the man who was there at the time heard nothing and did not notice the spirit's presence. He was alone, with no one nearby, and there were no neighbors around at that moment. A user on the social network suggested that what happened in the video could be what they call a residual haunting. This occurs when a past event repeats itself, as if it's stuck in the environment, creating a sort of echo of what has already happened. In that case, instead of being a spirit trying to communicate, it would be a scene from the past repeating in a looping cycle. In November of 2023, a mysterious capture was recorded. The woman who made the post explained that the video was filmed on her farm after the motion sensor of the security camera was triggered. The video, only 6 seconds long, shows something truly strange. Night had already fallen when the camera started recording. Her husband appeared on the right side of the screen, but right behind him, something mysterious emerged. A whitish form, resembling smoke, appeared with the silhouette of a human being. As the video went on, the figure dissolved into the air, as if disappearing. The scariest thing is that the man had his back to the entity and did not notice anything unusual. He continued his task normally, without realizing the presence of the creature so close to him. After watching the footage, her husband was visibly shocked and told his partner he would never go out to do anything on the farm at night again. The reason was obvious. He saw the entity right behind him in the video and became frightened. This video posted on YouTube has low quality, but somehow that makes everything seem even more frightening. At the beginning of the footage, a man is lying on the ground while another man, his opponent, stands near him in a threatening way. The scene is already tense, but what happens next makes everything even more inexplicable. Suddenly, the man who is on the ground starts to get up. At that moment, something completely unexpected happens. A strong, imposing being appears, apparently emerging from the victim's body, with a humanoid shape, large and broad-shouldered, radiating impressive strength. As soon as the protective spirit appears, its presence drives the adversary back quickly and firmly. The spiritual guardian looks around, on alert, ready for any other possible danger. The opponent, determined to harm the man who is on the ground, tries to approach once again, but backs off as soon as he notices the supernatural being still there. When the threat disappears, the man who had been on the ground stands up, and as he rises, his guardian of light seems to merge with his body, vanishing. Once upright, the man goes on his way as if nothing happened, making the scene even more mysterious and difficult to understand. This footage is truly intriguing and a bit sad. On the same day his grandmother left this world, the grandson found something very unusual recorded by the security camera in his uncle's garage. In the footage, 2 cars are parked in the garage, but what stands out is a small glowing orb hovering over one of the vehicles, as if it were a spirit of light. The orb moves gently, heading toward the uncle's house door and then back toward the mailbox. While it moves, the being seems to take small steps or even little hops, making everything even more mysterious. The orb continues along the sidewalk, heading to the neighbor's house, but it never goes beyond a certain point. It stops there, where it is still recorded by the security camera, and remains motionless for a while. The recording ends with the orb staying right at that spot. The video was posted on a forum, where the young man received many messages of condolences for the loss of his grandmother. In the basement of a theater with 100 years of history, something quite strange happened. The place was completely dark and empty, but suddenly the washing machine turned on by itself. Its light came on, as though it were operating normally. Then, the machine's door opened automatically. The most curious thing is that, to open and close the door, you have to pull it. And according to the video's poster, it would never open without a tug, even if it was malfunctioning. The The video was shared in a forum and soon generated a flurry of reactions. Many people found it funny and made jokes like, "Even ghosts need to do laundry." Others, not so entertained, believed it might be a defect, since they had experienced something similar. And there were also those who remained unsure, not knowing whether it was something paranormal or just a coincidence. However, the comment that caught the most attention was from a user who said he had experienced something very similar with a washing machine during college. He also thought the appliance was haunted, but never discovered what really caused the strange phenomenon. It's as if it were a common paranormal activity, reported by two people who did not know each other, yet witnessed the same thing. On a quiet night, a mother woke up to the sound of her child talking to someone in the bedroom. Frightened, she went straight to the baby monitor to see what was going on. When she looked at the screen, what she saw left her completely terrified. On the baby monitor, a small figure appeared, floating near the child's crib, at the same height as his head. The creature looked like a baby, but its face was strange, almost devilish, and the presence did not feel like anything good. The mother, totally scared, rushed to her son's room and started taking pictures, trying to capture anything unusual. However, when she arrived, the apparition was already gone. The photo she took of the baby monitor before running to her child's bedroom was posted on a social network and quickly went viral, frightening many people. The image sparked a lot of reaction, with many comments on what might have caused the apparition. Many shared their beliefs that babies, small children, and animals have a heightened sensitivity for sensing supernatural things that adults often cannot see. A stalker is someone who follows or watches another person obsessively and without the victim's permission. This can happen in several ways, like monitoring someone on social media, sending endless messages, or even following the person down the street. These behaviors can be extremely uncomfortable and even dangerous. In one such situation, a victim was pursued by an obsessed man who followed her all the way to her home. Realizing that the woman had entered her residence and locked herself inside, the stalker did not give up. He continued acting aggressively, walking down the house's hallway, and for a moment, it seemed he was about to leave, but instead, he took a running start and kicked the door hard, trying to force his way in. Fortunately, he could not damage the door, but his action was extremely intimidating. He did not stop there. He tried again, but upon realizing he was being recorded by the security camera, he quickly destroyed the equipment to avoid being filmed. In a post the author made in a forum, she said she never believed her house was haunted until she had an experience she recorded on video. She was sitting at her kitchen island, quietly snacking, when suddenly she heard a clear, loud voice saying, "Hi!" right behind her right shoulder. The scare was so huge that she practically jumped and, frightened, exclaimed, "Jesus!" out loud. The voice was so clear and distinct that there was no denying something strange had occurred. The scariest part is that the voice was picked up by the security camera, which made everything feel even more real.
Jackie, hi.
After that, she stayed there in the kitchen eating more snacks, but she was praying silently, trying to calm down. The strangest thing was that her dogs did not react to anything, which was unusual since they always move at any sound or movement. And to make things even more mysterious, her roommate, who was home at that time, confirmed she was sleeping, which made the situation even more unexplainable. Besides this video, the woman shared another curious story. She said that while having fun at a game store in town, she lost a die and looked everywhere but could not find it. 3 weeks later, while looking for a pill that had fallen on the floor, she found the die right under the bed. She got goosebumps, wondering how that die ended up there. A couple in Chicago was resting on the living room sofa, unaware that a stranger was watching them from upstairs. The intruder, captured by the security cameras, moved in a strange way, almost as if in slow motion. He wore a gray hoodie partially covering his face. He stayed for about 15 to 30 minutes, apparently watching the TV on the first floor, while the couple slept on a nearby sofa. When they woke up, the couple was startled to realize there was someone in the house, but by then, the man was gone. The two followed the trail to a room, but no one was there anymore. That was when they realized the intruder had entered and exited through the same upstairs balcony, which had been left unlocked. Frightened, they filed a police report, and the officers asked them to remove the video's slow-motion mode. They thought the footage was playing slowly, but it turned out the intruder really did move in such a dragged-out way. The most disturbing thing is that he did nothing besides stand there watching the couple as they slept and watching television. The video quickly went viral on the neighborhood watch group where the couple lived, and another recording was later shared. It showed the same man, now riding a bike around the neighborhood, going door to door to see if any houses had unlocked doors. In an incident recorded by the dashboard camera of a delivery truck, two men are inside the vehicle, one driving and the other in the passenger seat. The recording starts out calmly, but soon the situation takes a frightening turn. Suddenly, a male voice from outside gives orders to the two, who raise their hands, remove their seatbelts, and step out of the vehicle. The male voice in the background instructs them on what to do during the robbery. What stands out the most is that the victims seem so accustomed to this kind of situation that they remain calm and unruffled, as if it were routine for them. Outside the vehicle, one of the criminals takes the driver's seat, carrying an item that could harm anyone who did not follow his orders. The other bandit sits in the passenger seat, also with an object that made it clear why they were there: to steal the truck. One of the thieves starts driving the truck with his accomplice beside him, exchanging a few words. Both notice the dashboard camera and, to avoid further recording, remove the device from the panel, ending the footage. The incident was soon posted on a discussion forum, catching the attention of one user. He recognized the workers' uniforms and claimed the men were employees of a delivery company. The area where the robbery occurred is known to be a place with many thefts. A woman was home, suspecting something strange was happening there. She felt as if the house was haunted, but never had solid proof until she finally managed to record a terrifying scene on her security camera. In a video of only 17 seconds, something totally unexplainable occurred. At first, it looked like a normal recording until an object was hurled from the kitchen counter to the floor, with no explanation whatsoever. In the comments that appeared after she posted the video, many people suggested this phenomenon could be caused by a poltergeist. For those who do not know, a poltergeist is a spirit that, according to reports, can move things around, throw objects on the floor, slam doors, and even shift furniture, all without any human intervention. This being is known for creating chaos without offering any explanation for its actions. The woman, already used to strange occurrences in her home, was frightened but also somewhat relieved to finally record something that confirmed her suspicions. In 2014, a frightening story drew media attention. Cecilia Carrasco was passing through the reception area of her lawyer's office when something totally unexplainable happened. She was talking to an employee and suddenly felt an intense force on her back that caused her to fall to the floor. She felt as if two hands had shoved her with tremendous strength. Even though the receptionist was nearby, she was not the one who did it, which left Cecilia completely perplexed. Stranger still, when she looked around, she did not see anyone who could have caused that, which only deepened the mystery. The fall was so severe that Cecilia needed to be taken to the hospital for injuries. Even after receiving medical attention, she continued feeling ill. When the receptionist confirmed there was no one else around, Cecilia began to believe that a ghost might have been responsible. The shock only grew when she watched the security camera footage. The video showed that, in fact, there was no one else near her at the time she fell, just the employee she had been talking to. That made Cecilia conclude she was pushed by a spirit, something she would never have imagined possible. When a mysterious photo was shared in a discussion forum, it caused a massive stir among participants. The story behind the image is at least intriguing. A man received from a friend a picture in which he claimed to have captured a ghost. What caught everyone's attention was that, upon closer inspection, the face of the supposed spirit was not visible, making it even more curious. In the photo, someone is outside the house, sitting on a beach chair, but in the kitchen to the right, it is possible to see an image of a man looking directly at the person taking the picture. What left users even more unsettled was how difficult it was to make out the figure's face. Forum members began commenting on the case. One tried to find some editing or manipulation in the photo, but found no clues. Some people suggested that what was in the photo could be a flesh and blood intruder, not a spirit, and advised the person who took the picture to call the police. Others thought the figure had no head, which made the image even more mysterious and hard to understand. One user who had visited many haunted places commented on faceless ghosts, saying this phenomenon is well known, but he did not elaborate further. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.